Good morning. Today I'm going to do a short yoga session for anyone who's got any back injuries or back issues, and for anyone who sits at a desk and computer. These are short workouts but really beneficial, and you'll really notice the difference. If you're new to yoga, if you haven't done it for a long time, or you just aren't quite sure what to do, feel free just to watch and then join in your own time. And also it's very much about listening to your body, so no obligation to do anything. Yoga in Sanskrit means union of the mind and the body, so it's very much about engaging our mind with our body and being mindful and trying to detach from everything else that's going on around us. So find a little place at home where you've got a bit of space and peace and quiet. If you haven't got a yoga mat, that's fine. You can find a rug, a carpet, even lie on a towel. You want to come and lie on your back to begin with. So if you are comfortable, you want to lie flat. If you have any lower back issues, lie with your knees bent, hip width apart and feet flat on the ground. So your knees and feet want to be hip width apart. If you're comfortable, you can lie flat. You want to have the toes out to the side and really try and wiggle your spine nice and flat with your arms alongside your body. So we just want to start by taking a few deep breaths in and deep breaths out. And this helps focus the mind. It helps oxygenate the body as well. So as we breathe in for the count of 4, we want to push our stomach up and out as though we're blowing up a balloon. And as we exhale, you want to count to 6 and feel your stomach deflate and drop back down. So breathing deeply in for the count of 4 through the nose, push the stomach up, and as you exhale, feel your stomach slowly deflate and drop back down. Just do this for a few minutes. And it helps calm the muscles and it helps settle us in. And just feel your body slowly relaxing down on the ground. If you've got your knees bent, you can do exactly the same. Let's hug both knees into the chest. And these are really good to do first thing in the morning or when you wake up, even last thing at night. You just want to gently rock from side to side, massaging the lower back into the ground. And then with one hand on each knee, just do some lovely little circles. So what we're doing here is we're massaging the lower back into the ground, the arch of the spine, which can get really, really tight. And yoga is fantastic for niggles, aches and pains, for old injuries. We're just going to hug the knees in and then take a big deep breath in and sigh it out. One hand on each knee, widen the knees and rock from side to side. Now if anything's painful or feels too much, like you're forcing it, just ease off and relax. You can rest at any point. And then let's bring those knees together and scrunch into a tight little ball. Slowly, slowly lower the head down. Keep the knees hugged in. This is really good for the lower back. It stretches all the lower back out and we're hugging the knees in tight. Let's gently roll the head from side to side. And you might hear or feel a bit of crunching going on. We do tend to get really tight necks and shoulders, particularly if you do sit at a desk or computer, or you have a job where you do lots of driving or lifting or carrying, and bring the head back to center. We're going to bring the arms out wide and the knees just above the hips, and this is called tabletop. So the arms are wide, palms are facing up, and the arms are glued to the ground. We want to take a big deep breath in, and as we breathe out, we bring both knees down to the ground. Inhale up back to center, exhale to the other side. Inhale back up to center, exhale to the other side. So we're just breathing in, we're just breathing out, and the key to all of yoga poses is to really breathe deeply. Pranayama, as it's called in yoga, and that's the extension or the lengthening of the breath. And prana is that oxygen, that chi, that energy, that vital life force which keeps us alive. Bring the knees back into your chest, hug them in tight, and release the left leg away from you. Again, if you're new to yoga or haven't done this for a little while, or you've got a very weak or painful lower back, you're welcome just to keep your left knee bent. So the right knee is hugged in, and we're just rotating the right foot and ankle. I'm going to flatten my left leg so you can see what we're doing. And then we want to extend that right leg up to the ceiling and hold behind the thigh. And then bend the toes towards us. Now you can, if you want to, use a belt. And if you haven't got a proper belt, you can always use a dressing gown belt as well. So if you find you are a bit stiff, a little bit tight, use a belt or a dressing gown belt and just use that. And it's like an extension for our arms. So I'm not going to use it, but it's there as an option if you want it. And all we're doing is just pulsing backwards and forwards. And what we want to do is try and be mindful of keeping the legs straight, bending the toes towards us, and consciously pressing this lower back into the ground. And when you do that, you're not going to overuse or strain it, and you will start connecting with your core stomach muscles. So we want the core muscles to kick in, to activate, so we don't use or strain our lower back. And we're building up strength like a belt all the way round, and yoga is a wonderful way to deal with old injuries and weak or vulnerable areas. It makes us strong from the inside out. And then resting the hands on the stomach, can you lower that right leg down towards the ground? So again, I like to press my hands on the stomach so that I'm really trying to allow my lower back just to rest down. And then, bringing that leg all the way up, I want to climb up that leg. So nose towards the shin. If it feels too much, just lower down. Otherwise, looking up and lifting up, or closing your eyes, bending the toes towards you, and breathing in, breathing out. So not clenching the jaw. Holding the pose for as long as you can. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6 and 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. Hug the knee in. Take a big deep breath in and sigh it out. Let's do some nice circles. This is really good for the hips. This allows us to become a little bit more three-dimensional. And try a few times in the other direction. We want to think of yoga as being expansive and taking up as much space as we've got. And then hug the knee in. We're going to go to the half spinal twist, which again is really brilliant for the lower back. So this is particularly for opening out, squeezing and twisting where you've got any tight areas in your spine. Bring your right arm out, glue it down to the ground, keep the palm facing up, and then with your left hand on your right knee, so opposite hand to knee, bring that knee over to the other side. Now it's totally fine just to move a couple of inches, pause and hold. You might find you get to that point where you can't stretch any further, that's fine. But if you can focus on the exhalation, you'll often find you can drop down that bit more. So it's a really fantastic squeeze for the lower back. It feels really nice to do. It's also brilliant for detoxifying the body and for digestion as well. So think about the organs as being like sponges, and these twisting poses are fantastic, really good for us, pushing the blood through the body. Let's slowly roll onto our back, hug the knee in and do a nice counter stretch. So with yoga we stretch deeply in one direction, deeply in the other. Either place your right foot on top of your left thigh with bit too much, you can just drop it down onto the ground and tuck your sole of the right foot into the inner thigh of your left leg. Hip wants to open out, knee wants to open out. We look like the number 4. This is really, really good for the tight hips. And we want to stretch the hands and arms long and tall as well. So imagine you're a piece of elastic and we're just stretching that little bit further. Point the fingers, point the toes, feel the body slowly stretching, opening and releasing. Bring the hands and arms forward and bend your left knee. So it's totally fine just to keep your left foot on the ground and your right foot resting on your left thigh. Let's just again focus for a moment on our spine. Does it feel nicely pressed down? That's really what we want. Either stay like this, trying to push that bent knee a bit further away. If anyone's happy to do the stronger version, reach up and pull your bent knee towards you and drop the head back down. And this is such a good stretch for the glutes, the hips, the hamstrings, and of course the lower back as well. So remember, we're like a puppet. Just because we're stretching one area of the body, you'll often find other areas getting a really good stretch as well. So we're pulling, we're stretching, we're opening and we're releasing. The key is to breathe deeply and not clench the jaw. 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. Let's untangle the legs and swap sides. So pulling the left knee in, rotating the left foot and ankle, and if you need to have the right foot bent, that's totally fine. As with all the poses, the more you do it, it will get more and more easy as time goes on. So persevere if you're new to yoga or haven't done it before, because you really will feel amazing benefits for us. It makes us feel good from the inside out. It gives us that great sense of well-being, and we're being proactive about our health as well. Let's hug the left knee in. Let's extend the left leg up to the ceiling. Now bending the toes towards you if you can. They may want to point up, that's totally fine. And holding behind the left thigh, just pulsing backwards and forwards. And of course, if you want to use your belt or a dressing gown belt, you can just use that. The aim is to try and let the leg do as much of the work as possible. Try to have fairly loose tension on the belt if you're using it. But it's really great. It's like an extension to our arms, and it keeps our alignment as well. So, either just using the belt or holding the back of the thigh. Let's rest the hands on the stomach and slowly lower down and slowly roll up. If you want to use your breath with the stretch to focus your mind, you can exhale down away and inhale up. And it doesn't matter how far you stretch with all these poses. It's totally fine just to move a couple of inches or even just halfway. And then all the way down to the ground if it feels comfortable. Nothing should be painful. We shouldn't be straining anything. This is brilliant for toning the legs, really good for the lymphatic system and for the blood and the circulation as well. Let's climb up that leg, bringing the nose towards the shin, looking up and lifting up. Big deep breaths in, long, slow, deep breaths out. 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. Hug the knee in and take a big deep breath in and sigh it out. Feels so good to do. When we sigh it out, we're really pushing out stress and tension from a deep level. So let's do some nice anti-clockwise circles. This opens out the tight hip, the tight glutes and the hamstrings. Try a few times in the other direction. And let's think about being soft and gentle and graceful. You can be strong with your intention, but we really want to soften into our poses. We're not forcing anything. And then hugging the knee in, let's do the half spinal twist on this left side. So, consciously pressing the lower back into the ground, pulling the knees in, left arm extended, right hand on that left knee, and it's totally fine just to move a couple of inches, that's fine. The key is to keep that left arm on the ground, and if it feels comfortable, you can lower that left knee onto the ground. Anybody who wants to work harder, you can have your arm more diagonal. With all the yoga poses, think about the breath out and the exhalation. And when we do that, it helps us drop a little bit deeper into our pose. Let's roll on our back again and do our nice counter stretch. Either the half lotus with the left foot now on top of our right thigh, sole of the foot to the ceiling, hip and knee opening out, or if that's a bit too much, just drop it down onto the ground. So we look like the number 4. We want to stretch the hands and arms long and tall. We're breathing in, we're breathing out. 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. Hands and arms forward and bending the right knee. So gentle version. Spine flat on the ground, head, neck and shoulders down, and just keeping the right foot flat. If you can, if you want to, just push that left knee away. And if anybody wants the stronger version, reach forwards and drop the head down and feel that really good unpeeling and unsticking in the tight hips. This always feels quite a strong pose, even if you do it every day. And yoga really complements other forms of exercise. So if you like running or jogging or cycling or whatever you enjoy doing that's great for cardio fitness, yoga is fantastic for lengthening and stretching the muscles. A lot of professional sportsmen, athletes, they practice yoga because it really does give us the stretch and really keeps us in good health, inner and outer good health. Let's stretch both hands and arms. Let's stretch the legs, big deep breath in and sigh it out. Bring the hands and arms forwards and bring the knees bent up to the ceiling with the feet flat on the ground. Feet and knees are pointing up to the ceiling, about hip width apart. And all we're going to do to begin with is just tilt the hips forwards and backwards. So we're not getting lift off, but we're just rolling the last few vertebrae forwards and backwards. And what this does is it just connects us to that lower back. And then we want to continue rolling up and rolling down. So on the inhalation, we roll up, squeezing and lifting, pausing and holding, and then slowly exhaling, rolling down one vertebrae at a time. So we're inhaling, rolling up, squeeze and lift, and slowly rolling down. And being slow is the key. And all you want to do is just lift up as far as feels comfortable. So it's totally fine just to lift an inch off the ground. And little by little you'll find increased flexibility and these poses get a little bit easier. And this is fantastic for flexibility of the spine. There's actually a saying in yoga that the more flexible a spine you have, the longer life you'll have. This next time as we lift up, we want to stay up. So you're just lifting up to your highest point, and it is totally fine to roll down at any point. Anyone who wants to lift a little bit higher or work a bit harder, squeeze your hands underneath your body. Use that to lift up onto your shoulders and either keep your feet flat or walk your feet in towards you and come up onto your tiptoes. So we're lifting up, we're breathing in, we're breathing out, just to where feels comfortable. Be kind to yourself, listen to your body. 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. Walk the feet away, roll down, hug the knees in. And just for a moment, like we did at the beginning of our session, rock from side to side. You can do some nice little circles as well, a few times in each direction. So we're just going to do something called Happy Baby. Widen the knees with the soles of the feet towards the ceiling. You want to reach up if you can and pull down. If this is quite a challenging pose for you, you can pull down on the back of the thighs, but consciously press your lower back into the ground. So the knees are wide, soles of the feet are flat, and we're just pulling down, either on the back of the thighs or reaching up, pulling down on the soles of the feet. And this is also really, really good for opening out the lower back, and it's a really nice counter stretch to what we've just been doing, squeezing our spine. 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. Let's lengthen the arms, lengthen the legs, and come and sit up. So we're just going to do a seated forward bend. If you want to use your belt, you absolutely can do as well. Otherwise, just stay as you are. So we're sitting upright and tall like the letter L, and we want to lift the arms up. Big deep breath in, and as we breathe out, keep the spine straight. We're leaning diagonally forwards, then drop the hands down and slide your hands as far as they want to reach. If you've got the belt or a dressing gown belt, you lift your arms up tall and then you can just lasso and loop. And that can really help, particularly if you're tight. So if you're not used to this pose, you might find, just to begin with, you're just sitting fairly upright and you can't drop down any further because we do want to keep that straight spine. So you'll find if you just pulse forwards and backwards, it gets that little bit easier. And if you did this every single day, within a week, you'd find that you could drop down 50% further. So it's fantastic for opening out the spine. So the gentle version is just sitting upright, resting your hands, pulsing backwards and forwards, or using your belt. The belt can really help. And then little by little, just finding you're sliding your hands that bit further down. And if you're comfortable with this pose, bend the toes towards you and you can reach your hands over the soles of the feet and aim to bring your face down towards your shins. Let's do a nice little counter stretch. Roll the shoulders, bring your hands behind you, push your chest forwards. Gentle version, keep your hips and seat bones down, but push your chest up away from you, drop your head back. Anybody who wants to do the reverse plank, you just lift the hips up. So again, we're listening to the body. And if you're comfortable with the reverse plank, imagine you've got magnets lifting your hips up higher towards the ceiling. It's also a great weight-bearing exercise for the arms and the shoulders. So come and sit cross-legged. If you're not comfortable sitting cross-legged, you can always sit with your legs out in front of you, whatever feels right. You might even want to sit on a cushion, or I've got these blocks, but you can sit on whatever you like, or just on the ground. So let's just start by rolling those shoulders. So this is really, really good for anyone who finds they sit at the desk or computer a lot. They're very simple to do, and you can actually do it just for a few minutes while you're at work as well. Hunch the shoulders up and slowly lower down. Hunch the shoulders up, slowly lower down. Another good one to do is little circles, like little bird wings. And this opens out not just the shoulders, but the shoulder blades as well. And you can try a few times in the other direction. And then if you want to, you can widen the arms and bring them across. So what we're doing here is opening out the body for the blood and the energy to flow and get moving. Yoga is brilliant for congestion and stagnation, whether that's physically, mentally, or emotionally. Bring your hands into prayer position, interlock the fingers, and then push the hands away and lift the arms up. So this is almost in 2 stages. Lengthen the arms and then lengthen the spine as well. 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. Bring the arms down. Another brilliant one to do for a tight spine is just twisting. I love this one. It feels so satisfying to do. And I could hear a little click there just as my spine realigned and opened out. And anyone of any age can do this. 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. We're going to do a seated side bend. So just bring your right arm up to the ceiling as if you want to touch the ceiling, and then come over. So you want to keep the seat bones glued down to the ground so you're not completely lifting up, and you just want to feel that right arm come over the head and drop the left arm down. So your left arm can be straight or bent, and it absolutely doesn't matter if you're just moving an inch. Let's try the same with the other side. So the right hand is down, we're lifting the left arm up, and just see how far you can stretch. It's totally fine just to sit upright and bring the arm over. There's no competition or comparison with anybody else. We're just here for ourselves. So today was just a really short little practice session for you to get everything moving and flowing. There will be another one shortly posted where we're on all fours and we just continue what we've been working on. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed it, and there will be more coming up.